Hey YouTube, Motor Racing Network, Steve Post here, another great Diecast review show. We can't wait to share with you all that's going on here at Plan B Sales and really all that's going on across NASCAR Nation. It's an exciting time to be in the NASCAR world, and we're glad you joined us here on the Diecast review show. Now, how about that race, the Auto Club 400 out in Southern California? What a race it was, and when it was done, not really a shocker, Jimmie Johnson, his 6th win at Auto Club Speedway. He seems to have the key to victory lane there, and he won the race with the Superman car. More on that later, but Superman beat Batman, who was Dale Earnhardt Jr., and I hope you followed along on social media. They had so much fun with the Superman and Batman paint schemes out at Auto Club Speedway. For Jimmie, it established himself sole possession of 7th place with 77 wins as he's moved past the great Dale Earnhardt. It was his, as we mentioned, his 6th win at Auto Club Speedway, and this stat is staggering. When you think about Jimmie, he has 15 seasons, full-time seasons, in NASCAR Sprint Cup Series racing, and in every one of those seasons, he has multiple wins now because he's the first driver to get to 2 wins this year. So absolutely amazing what Jimmie Johnson has been doing career-wise, and a great run for him on that green-white checkered exciting finish on Sunday afternoon at Auto Club Speedway. Kevin Harvick was 2nd, Denny Hamlin was 3rd, Joey Logano was 4th. A lot of action there after the race between Joey Logano and Martin Truex Jr. Not too happy was Truex Jr. with Joey Logano. Good time was had by all there. And how about our guy Ricky Stenhouse Jr.? He's one of our faves here. He hangs out at Plan B every once in a while. We have a lot of his autographed diecast. We love Ricky Stenhouse Jr. and that 5th place run. We are so excited what's going on with our friend Stenhouse, and it is going to be a great year continuing for Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Had that one hiccup at Phoenix, but he's been very strong this season, and we look forward to seeing what Ricky Stenhouse Jr. brings the rest of the year. Now, let's go back to Jimmie Johnson. We had so much fun talking diecast with the Batman versus Superman cars, and folks, they sold out. Not a shocker. Anytime you have Dale Earnhardt Jr. cars, they sell out generally in a hurry. Jimmie Johnson's Superman car sold out. Here's the good news on this. Jimmie has saved your tail. If you didn't get one of those Batman versus Superman, Jimmie Johnson Superman cars, Jimmie winning the race, there's a race-winning diecast of this. And actually, race-winning in 124th and 164th. Go to Plan B Sales, type in Johnson, Fontana, Johnson, Superman, win. Type in whatever you need to type in to get to it, and you can get the Jimmie Johnson Superman car, this one, the race-winning car. So Jimmie saved all of you that did not get the Superman car the first time around. He made a 2nd edition for you by winning that race at Fontana. Very exciting race, all part of an exciting start to the season. All right, now let's talk a little diecast. Well, now wait a minute. This is the Diecast review show, but Plan B Sales, you know, we have more than diecast, and we want to feature one of our great products that we have here along the way, and that's our helmets. Folks, these are great items. Whether you go with the big one to put on a mantle, little one to put on your desk, or wherever you want to collect them, these are beauties. Look at this Dale Earnhardt Jr. Nationwide Insurance car helmet this is, and it is just absolutely beautiful. A lot of design around this. Now, our favorite as far as good-looking helmets is the Kevin Harvick Budweiser helmet. Look at the design on this helmet. Look at the beauty of the artwork on this helmet. Kevin Harvick's Budweiser helmet. These are the larger size helmets that we have. We also have the mini helmets up there, but this is Kevin Harvick's Jimmie John's helmet. So another one of Kevin Harvick's great helmets. And then we've got the Cheez-Its helmet from Greg Biffle. So we have Biffle's Cheez-It helmet. These are the larger ones, and we have a great collection of larger and the smaller diecasts. Go to Plan B Sales right up there in the search window, type in helmets, and you'll be able to find out the full list of what we have. On the mini helmets, Trevor Bayne's AdvoCare helmet. We've got the Ortho helmet of Greg Biffle from last year. Remember, and he had the bugs all over his car? Well, we've got the bugs all over the helmet now. Our personal favorite, look at this one, Plan B Sales. We love that we have a few of these helmets in stock, and you can show your love for us, and we'd love to have you do that, by the way, with this Plan B Sales helmet. We've got a Kurt Busch Haas Automation helmet and a 3M Jeff Gordon helmet available as well from last year. So again, just go to the search window on planbsales.com, type in helmets, and you will see this is just a small portion of a large number of helmets that we have in stock. They're in stock. Our shipping department is ready to ship them to you right now. So now let's get into our favorite part of this video, and that is the questions that we have. And you know what? I'm going to ask a question of you this time, okay? We're 5 races into the 2015 season. Right down there below, just type in what your thoughts of the racing have been so far. We've had 2 photo finishes. We've had Jimmy Johnson win a couple of races. Maybe your favorite driver hasn't won yet, but just in general, our question to you, and you can type your answer right down below, is what do you think of the racing that we've seen so far in NASCAR Sprint Cup Series action? Now, to get to your questions this week, we've got Classic Fuel, and he says, what do you think NASCAR will do or go to low downforce in the Xfinity and the Truck Series? That's a great question, and haven't really pondered that much. Truck Series is such a unique body that I'm not sure what can translate one to the other, although I'm sure they're looking at anything to make racing more competitive. In the Xfinity Series, and again, we have the smaller bodies on those cars, or the smaller car bodies, the Camaro, the Mustang, so it's different, but I wouldn't be surprised if there's not a little consideration or a little look in what's going on in the Sprint Cup Series and maybe transition a little bit of it over to the NASCAR Xfinity Series. But stay tuned on that, because you just never know. Xfinity Series is significantly different on the horsepower front and different with some other elements to the race cars and the size of the teams as well, and asking those teams to make all the changes might be a challenge too. So I know it's a balancing act they have with those 2 cars. 1997 Ford Thunderbird production says, do you think Dale Earnhardt Jr. will win a championship? You know, I really still think Dale Earnhardt Jr. will win a championship, but I think it's going to have to be in the next couple of years. Right now, he's running very, very well. Now, they struggle at Auto Club, but man, look how fast he was at Phoenix a couple of weeks ago and how fast he's been across the board this year. They've been very, very good, but I'm telling you, Dale Earnhardt Jr. and his team, and I don't think I'm sharing anything with you that they don't know, they need to pick up their qualifying effort. They qualified 26th at Phoenix. They qualified 27th at Fontana, at Auto Club Speedway. And you know, I'm telling you, I know the races won on Sunday, and I know Phoenix, they rocketed through the field, but I'm telling you, you put yourself in a lot of jeopardy starting mid-pack, especially the excitement that we have in NASCAR racing. A couple of cars get together and you're starting mid-pack, you could end up in someone else's mess. And really, I think they need to work on it. I think they will be working on it, and I think Dale Earnhardt Jr. will have a really good season. Championship season is so tough to predict these days, though, because of the chase format. The good news for Junior is Phoenix is the last cutoff race to get into the championship round, and he's really, really good there. Maybe a chance to win that in the fall and move him on. He won it last fall, although he was already knocked out of the chase. So we'll just have to stay tuned and see, but I think he's performing good enough to win the championship if they can get hot during that chase portion of the schedule. And William Harris writes in, which paint scheme did you like more? Jimmy Johnson's Superman or Dale Jr.'s Batman? All right, William, you're going to get me in trouble on this one. I know what you're going to get me in trouble. Honestly, and you know, I spent a lot of time at Auto Club Speedway, and I looked at both of those cars. Initially, with the pictures, the renderings, I liked the Superman car. I like blue. Blue's one of my favorite colors, and that was a rich blue. But as I looked at Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s Batman car, that gray had such good depth with the shadowy Batman look on it. I think during the weekend, my allegiance shifted to Batman. But here's the problem. Race cars always look better with confetti on them. And Jimmy Johnson put the Superman car in victory lane. So while I think I like the Batman car up close and looking at the car a little bit better, a race car with confetti always looks better than a race car without confetti. And so I'm going with Jimmy Johnson's Superman car with the confetti, which is race-winning diecast, and you can order yours up as well at planbsales.com. So there you have it for your questions, and we love getting the chance to answer your questions and talk NASCAR racing or talk diecast, and you can type those questions in right down below. All right, so where do we go from here? We go to an off weekend, and everyone in the NASCAR garage is relieved. You know, this West Coast swing is a neat idea, and it's a great idea. I believe it's successful. I believe everyone likes it. But man, I am telling you what they also like from the garage, from the team standpoint, is an off weekend after it. I talked to some of the big teams, and when you look at the big, fully funded teams, think about the number of cars they had to have ready in the beginning of February. They had to have probably 3 cars ready to go to Daytona. They had to have 2 cars ready to go to Atlanta. You can't run the Atlanta car at Las Vegas, so you had to have 2 Vegas cars. Phoenix is a flat 1 mile oval. You needed 2 cars there. Really, the only time you could potentially think of doubling cars back into the rotation would be the Atlanta car to Auto Club Speedway. Most teams didn't do that though. And so consequently, when you look at the build-up to this season with the West Coast swing and shuttling cars back and forth across the country, it has been an aggressive time. And I know there is a collective sigh this week in the garages and in the shops for these race teams. They're going to go in. They went in early this week and worked the first couple of days. Some even gave the whole week off. But I think by the time Friday morning comes along, there's not going to be a lot of activity from the road crews in these NASCAR shops, because I think most of them are ready for the long Easter weekend and onward. Now, we talked about the big teams. What about the small teams? Had a chance to talk, and this is Sprint Cup Series and Xfinity Series as well. They've ran the same schedule the Xfinity cars have, and they've been really busy cross country as well. I look at a team like Richard Petty Motorsports. Jeff Burton is driving for them. Had a chance to talk to Drew Blickensturfer. He's the crew chief on that team. They were late to the party. The Jeff Burton piece didn't come together till late. They went to Daytona in their fleet with only 4 cars. 2 speedway cars for Daytona and 2 intermediate cars. And what that team had to do is that team actually, the transporter shuttled back and forth across the country in between Vegas, Phoenix, back to Auto Club Speedway. So they put a lot of miles on. So whether you're one of the big teams building 10 cars or one of the little teams working with 4 cars to get through this opening stretch, everyone is ready for an off weekend. The Xfinity Series teams have a second off weekend. They're off next week in a row, 2 weeks in a row. And then the good news is for the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series is they're just up the road here from most of their shops in Martinsville, Virginia, a couple hours away. So a close race for next weekend. And again, the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series team is going to join them. So it's an off weekend for NASCAR racing, but not an off weekend. PlanBSales.com will be open all weekend long. So if you're watching this at 3:30 a.m. on Sunday morning, go over to PlanBSales.com and order up your helmet or order up your diecast. We're open all weekend long. Easter weekend, we'll be there all weekend long at PlanBSales.com. So while the NASCAR world takes a little break, our shipping department never rests, and they will get your diecast, your helmets, your shirts, whatever you have out to you. Make sure you do all your shopping and get all your diecast and racing related needs at PlanBSales.com. We love that you guys are getting involved with us here on YouTube. We have the comments below. Feel free to mention your comments here. Follow us on Twitter at PlanBSales, and we'll keep you informed on what we have. And please get some back and forth conversation going, because we love talking racing and love talking with you race fans out there, and we appreciate the business you do give us.